So I hope you are all having a great day, because today we're going to take a look at the Dreamcast guy video from after the showcase, where he completely admits that he's wrong when he gave this showcase before it even came out a 4 out of 10, and he said himself he's going in with no expectations, but with that expectation he wanted it to be a 4 out of 10. And at the same time, we also need to call myself out because of my previous video. A lot of people seem to either agree or disagree with me on my previous video about what I thought about the showcase. A lot of people really hated that I gave it a 7 to 8 out of 10, and some of the opinions that I held there were kind of just right after the showcase, and I didn't give them time to formulate, so we'll also criticize myself. I'll take my L for that video, and we'll correct some of my opinions during this video while we're also criticizing Dreamcast guy. So without further ado, let's go take a look at his video.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast guy here, and today we're talking about the Xbox Games Showcase because it has just concluded. I watched it and I have some thoughts, but to be honest, it was way better than I actually expected.
I was gonna do a This You moment, trying to find that tweet where he did this showcase is gonna be a 4 out of 10, but I couldn't find it. I spent 10 minutes on Twitter looking for it, so I guess I can't make that happen, so I guess I'm just gonna say it. You literally put yourself in a situation where you were going to set yourself up to fail. That was a you issue. You said it to yourself, this showcase will be a 4 out of 10. And then you're surprised that somehow it did good. Don't get me wrong, Microsoft has taken a lot of L's recently, but this was not one of them. I believe Xbox handled this showcase relatively well, even though I gave it a 7 to 8 out of 10, and I still stand by that score. Fight me over it, because for some reason people believe a 7 or 8 out of 10 is somehow a bad score if it isn't an 8 or a 9 or a 10. I've seen a lot of people do that with Metacritic, let alone people's reviews. Trust me, a 7 and an 8 is a good number. But if you want to hear what I believe of this showcase truly, this showcase really respected your time. They didn't waste your time talking to you about random stuff about the game. They showed the game, they adopted this show don't tell mentality for it. I really appreciate that. But one major criticism that I have towards this showcase is not necessarily the showcase's fault, but more of a handling of Microsoft and Xbox itself, is that Fable and State of Decay we've known about for years, and only now we're getting gameplay. And I think that's really annoying. These games should have come out years ago. They shouldn't have been sitting in development for this long. If you're not ready to release the game, don't show us a trailer. This is why we're gonna have Elder Scrolls 6 like 10 years after the first trailer for that game. And I think that's really annoying. You should only do trailers, you should adopt the Warhorse Studio mentality. Show your game when it's nearly ready. Get the hype up, then release the game. You're doing it all in good time and good succession.
I purchased an Xbox Series X on day one, and it's been pretty much gathering dust. I just play on my PC or on my PS5, but now I'm finally starting to get it. Like, if the stuff they showed today is legit, if these games don't get canceled, if the studios don't get shut down, it does feel like the next 2 years of Xbox could hopefully be legit.
I don't think if any or many of these games will be cancelled. I think everyone there quite enjoyed what they saw. Even some of the games that I thought were absolute trash, like South of Midnight, I still liked how the game looked. The art style was really cool. I also might as well clear this up, but a lot of people are also calling me racist for not liking South of Midnight, and that's mainly because I said the game was sweet baby woke trash, and that's because it's genuinely worked on by them, as mainly in the narrative and some smaller components of the game. So if you look at the game and you're taking an interest in it, keep that in mind when purchasing, as most of their previous works aren't usually the best. But anyway, let's get back on the Dreamcast guy. I feel like it's a bit disingenuous that you're trying to say that these games could be cancelled. I don't think they will be, as you wouldn't show these off and immediately cancel them when you see a lot of people talking about pretty much every game that was shown off in this showcase. Pretty much everyone seems to like what they've seen. So I think it would just be a waste of time, unless it's going through development hell, which could be pretty likely. And I feel like this should also be mentioned, but I don't feel like you're doing this out of a genuine concern that these games are going to get cancelled. It's because you've been so negative about Xbox for so long now that you need to keep consistent with your previous opinions that there may be some bad out of this good. And because you've put yourself in that situation by, for the last month, doing negative news on Xbox and people calling you out for being just a giant grifter with actual either in-person proof from their words alone, to you even admitting it in some instances, it makes you really wonder, why did you even bother to make this video knowing that you were going to get so much hate? Because look at that like to dislike ratio, it is insane. And on top of that, you also trended because of this video. I don't know what you were thinking, since you were only doing this for money, but I'm sure that attention from trending really did get you the money, on top of you privating your tweet about this video was pretty funny as well.
But let's discuss. I hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already.
You heard the man, you know what needs to be done.
And stuff. I want to go through the actual games they talked about, starting with, holy heck, what an opener, Doom. The freaking id Classic game is back, and it's taking place in the Middle Ages, or like the Dark Ages. So the game is called Doom the Dark Ages, and
okay, a slight bit minor gripe here, but you could have just read the name and seen what it said. Doom the Dark Ages, that's it. It's not like set anywhere else, it's set in what I would presume the Dark Ages, it's the name. And I should also mention this here, I'm going to be skipping across most of his video, cutting out all the fluff from the video, as it's not really necessary conversation, it's just him sharing opinions, so we're just going to cut there and save you all a bit of time. So if you're missing any context, you can go watch his video.
it was still pretty CG heavy. Like Dragon Age the Veilguard, this is the next Dragon Age game. What the heck was it called before? It was called like something Dawnwolf or something like that. So now we have the official name of it. It definitely looks good.
Now, I've never been a big fan of Dragon Age. I've personally never played them or take much of an interest, but I really should get around to playing the games. I'm sure I'll have a lot of fun with them, especially the originals. I've heard those are really good compared to maybe some of the new ones. I don't know, that's from a friend's opinion. I can't really speak on behalf of the wider Dragon Age community, but I'll get around to trying them eventually. But from what I heard from a 2-hour lecture from my friend, he said that this is not Dragon Age. It doesn't feel, doesn't look like it, doesn't talk like it, if you catch my meaning. And you can even look at the like to dislike ratio. Pretty much everyone, or most people, seem to dislike this game, which I don't blame them. If you go compare this to the original trailers of Dragon Age, it has a very different feel and doesn't seem to capture the same interest that other people may have had in these games. So I will have to say that this was probably the biggest L of the showcase.
We're reacting to this like in the Xbox chat. We're completely losing their minds. I still really did not enjoy just Starfield in general. It just felt like a busted, downgraded version of just what I loved about Skyrim, but I am going to play that with an open mind. And
yeah, you're going to play that with an open mind, definitely. Just like you did with the Xbox Showcase by giving it a 4 out of 10 already. You're definitely going to give it a very open mind going into this. I absolutely agree you will. Yep, you're not going to repeat what happened with the Xbox Showcase, definitely. But I think we can all agree Starfield was kinda ass. I'm reinstalling it right now to give it a try with its new updates and see how it is like a year later, but I don't think it's going to be good, so, you know, fingers crossed.
And stuff. None of that stuff really piques my interests, except for Diablo 4. I actually have 700 hours played on frickin' Diablo 4.
Oh yeah? We're gonna do a dick measuring contest, are we? Well, joke's on you, I've got 500 days played in For Honor. I can't believe I wasted 9 years of my life playing that absolutely garbage game, and I love it.
I'll post that. Like, I'm trying to edit this video quick so it blows up in views. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Well, if there's more proof that you need that he doesn't just grift from topic to topic with very little incentive in them, or willing to understand or give an actual good, honest opinion on it, there's your proof. I'm not gonna take this moral grandstand against grifting like, you know, make your bag, money's money, we gotta make ends meet somehow, but come on, at least keep consistent with what you say. That's the most important thing, because every time you've said something, people can look at previous videos from you and be like, hey look, you've said this and now you say this, and it could be less than a month apart. But of course, you put yourself in that situation by uploading quick and not really thinking about what you say, so that's more of a you issue. I'm sure it'll eventually come back to bite you in the ass like it did recently again.
Like Final Fantasy or something that really shocked the audience, I think that would have put it up to like a 9, for me personally. Okay, next up, South of Midnight. Now, this is a project done by Compulsion Games. It's the people that did We Happy Few, and I think, what was that game called? Contrast. They've done a bunch of very artsy games. This is purposefully ultra low frame rates. The characters seem like they're moving at like 12 or 15 FPS.
You also forgot the most important part. Sweet Baby is also working on it, so it's a really good indicator that this game's going to be absolutely amazing on launch. But I have to agree with them. I do have some criticisms of the frame rate. I kind of wish it took more of a, I don't know how I could word it, but more of a Hi-Fi Rush approach where everything is more lined up and everything's done at the same time, similar to how the rhythms were handled in the game. I think that would be a really good way of handling the FPS, but if you hand it all differently and it's all changing around and the animations don't look good, I think it could be pretty problematic. I'll say that was probably the most ugliest part, but I really do like the art style. The art style was really cool, but since Sweet Baby's working on it, I don't really have much of an interest in seeing this game at all go any further. But don't let my negative talk you down from buying the game. If you want to see it or get it on Game Pass, that's entirely up to you. If it's something that interests you, go get it.
It's a masterpiece, but wow, Wow, wow. Now, this is one of those times where some Xbox showcases, they end everything with like, coming to Game Pass. They didn't do that for this one. A lot of the stuff is coming to Game Pass. This one, obviously, is a normal full-priced game. The licensing deal to put this on Game Pass would be tens of millions of dollars, probably.
I don't know about you, but I think that's personally an L. I'm not a big fan of any Metal Gear games. I've never been a big fan of Kojima's work at all. I really do dislike him. But I feel like that's kind of a wasted opportunity, because who knows if this game is actually good or bad. I've seen a lot of the comparisons trailers to the old one and the new one. It seems pretty much one-to-one, so more than likely you're going to get a good experience out of this. But I don't think framing it as not on Game Pass and being a full-price game is necessarily a good thing, because what if this is a bad game? I'm sure you don't want to spend money on a bad game.
Some games they showed today, it just looked terrible. There was like a whole section of this that, in my opinion, was incredibly boring. A lot of these games, like, hey, we're Flintlock the Siege. It's a game where you, like, kill gods. Yay.
I have to agree with him on this one. It didn't really look too interesting, and it didn't really grab my attention in the slightest when watching the Xbox showcase, and I'm sure for a lot of people that was pretty much the same. It was more like a little filler title to throw in there.
Perfect Dark.
Damn, Sheila really got hit with that Mary Jane treatment. Poor thing.
Very big W for Xbox. Next up, Fable. So, this trailer seems to convey, and I could be wrong here, it seems to convey that this chick is the main character, that there will not be a custom character. This is the playable character. So
I don't really have too much to say on this, but I feel like character customization in a Fable game is real missed opportunity to make your own character. I feel like that would have done pretty well for the game and probably helped a lot more people get over that the character looks like a freak of nature. Until you see the new trailer, it actually looks more like the actress, which good on them for finally changing that. Absolutely great that they did, because no one liked the original look of that character that you were showing off in the original Fable trailer.
I mean, for me personally, just did not grab my attention, did not impress me, did not wow me. But these last two games absolutely blew me away. Freaking Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, looked so good.
I absolutely recommend that anyone that takes an interest in survival-like games or games with a bit of a horror aspect, Stalker is an absolute steal of some games. I would recommend getting them on console, as I believe they're coming out soon or might already be out. But if you get an option to play them, I would recommend playing them. And I also can't disagree with Dreamcast guy on this one. 2 looks absolutely mingin'.
But the closeout, this, literally my jaw was on the floor. If you actually go to my channel and search the word Gears of War, I have reviewed, I've beaten, I've played every single Gears of War game. I am obsessed with Gears of War. I even read, there are some Gears of War books, there's some Gears of War comics. I would not recommend them. They're kind of cheesy, but not very well done. They're doing what seems like a remake of Gears of War 1 or something that...
Yes, it's definitely a remake of Gears of War 1. Yep, not definitely a prequel or anything. No, never. No, this is the benefit of what happens when you make a video straight away after a showcase instead of, sitting down and thinking with your thoughts. Maybe that could have helped you here. Well, guess never mind. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I pretty much covered everything and cut out all the fluff for you guys, so it's much more easier for you to all to consume. So that's it. I'll see you all in the next video. Help me reach 2,000 subs, and have an absolute great day.